away.
2 weeks.
2 week. Well, we had a week break from the podcast. You had your 2 week break.
Yep.
How was it? Good? Good fun?
Wicked. Yeah, brilliant. So, have you done Thailand?
I've never been to Thailand, no. I've done India, Sri Lanka, but I've never been further south.
Oh, you've been some places as well, haven't you?
Indonesia, yeah. I've never been down that way, though. I'd love to. But I've never been down that way.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I was a bit on the fence when I was told that's where we were going from my wife. Because, as I've said to you countless of times, I'm not very cultured.
Yeah.
But it's a real eye-opener. But amazing. Great experience.
Yeah.
So it's
really
crazy how... I said someone early in the kitchen, fly 15 hours that way or 12 or whatever, and just see how life is, and that's how they live, and that's just all normal. So maybe have that conversation a bit more detail another time. But really good to have the break. Great to be back. Excited to be back.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're flipping it, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
So we spoke about good old me for too long the other week. Today we're going to try and wrap you up in 5 minutes.
Well, alright.
6.
I'll give you 6.
I'm joking. But today, let's get to meet the man behind who puts all this together. So I think people just think that we've got 25 cameramen, which we have. Hi guys, how are we doing? But it's obviously, this is just as much as part of your thing that we're doing. So why don't we give the viewers what they want? I've had countless amount of messages, and we want JB on, we don't want you on. So why don't we talk about your good self today? Let's start with then, keeping it very simple. Why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and then talk a little bit about your youth and growing up and your childhood.
Cool. So obviously my name's Jamie, go by JB around here. I'm the marketing executive for JD Capital Finance and Enjoy the Grind and Davies Recruitment.
Part of Davies Global, which I'll talk to you about because I've not actually mentioned this to you yet. Yeah, but it's all under the Davies Global brand.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I've been here for just over 3 months, and
you have,
yeah, it's gone very quickly.
It has, isn't it?
And all this sort of stuff is my passion. Podcasts, the whole YouTube, social media, all of that sort of stuff. I love it all, but that's sort of come from my growing up ish. It's sort of a generational thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think like YouTube and all that sort of stuff is massive for people that are my age and younger.
Yeah. Let's journey back then. So little whippet-snapper Jamie B at school. Yeah. What was JB like?
So, to be honest, I don't actually remember much of the social side of primary school. Yeah. I had my friends, and I feel like I just stuck to them. Yeah. Like, I didn't really mill about too much. I like playing football.
We talk about like secondary school type thing, or we talking?
No, primary school.
Primary school. Sorry, okay.
But the one big memory I have from primary school, I loved primary school, but the one big memory I had, there was a school really close by that closed down, and they moved into our school.
Oh, really? Where did you grow up? Where was you born?
I was born in Haroldwood.
Okay, yeah.
And then lived in Romford, Hornchurch.
Right, okay. Whole life. So rival school or local school closed down, and all the kids
They all moved into our school, so our school doubled in size.
That's crazy.
And then within a year, they had built a new building, and it was like, the whole modern school, it's all white and glass and all that sort of stuff. It was beautiful, but I do remember that, and me and my sister still talk about it sometimes because we went to the same primary school. Yeah.
How old's your sister?
She's 2 years above me.
Okay. Is it just you and her?
It is, yeah.
Is she and in fact we'll come back to her. Okay, so school, just had your group of friends.
I really enjoyed school, and I made a fair few friends from that merge, which I actually I'm really happy that they did now, because I feel like it taught me a lot. When you're really young, when you make friends, it's like someone will throw something at someone's head and you'll start talking. But when you're...
Was you that guy?
To be honest, I can't remember. I had a best friend who I've sort of lost a bit of contact with now, not for any really reason, but and from the earliest I can remember, we were best friends, and we were best friends all the way up until about 15, 16, and then sort of university and stuff, which grew apart. But
have you got any other friends from primary school? Are you still
no,
Nah, me neither.
I don't. I lost contact with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't really. But it's not for anyone's.
No, it's
really.
a long time,
age, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm.
So, so year 6, I remember my main memory from year 6 that my parents mention all the time. I was quite shy. I was quite quiet.
Yeah.
But when in year 6, we did every year they did like a levers play thing.
Right.
My part in this play,
Romeo.
I can't even remember what it was. I can't remember what the play was. I think it was.
Yes, you can.
No. I remember exactly what my part was, but I can't remember why I was it.
So you remember the part though?
Yeah, I remember it like fully, but I can't remember why it was involved.
Right.
I think it was like taking the mick out of the nativity type thing, and I was the donkey, right?
Right.
But literally.
The speaking part.
No, but better than the speaking part. Everyone was crying, laughing, right? I had to do, and I absolutely owned it. I had to do. Bear in mind, I'm like 10. I had to do loads of different like poses. So I was the donkey, and I'm there doing like the Titanic, paint me like one of your French girls.
Can you give us one?
Yeah,
there we go.
Things like this on the stage in front of all of these parents, and everyone's really laughing and everything.
Can you remember at the time performing and thinking this is going down well, or you were so in the moment? Because you're only 10, aren't you?
The only memory I have of it was being really nervous to go out beforehand and talking to a couple other people in the little backstage, which is basically just like the corridor.
Yeah. Well, you get your makeup done.
And I've got a photo of it. I'll show you a photo of it.
Oh, please.
It's a massive. You know, like you see.
Can you put that
kids,
photo?
I'll put it in.
Yeah.
You know, you see like kids that wear with like the dinosaur outfits, whatever, like with a big head on top and the bottom of the jaw. It was like that.
Really?
Like the head was like this big. It was amazing. I've got a photo of it somewhere. I think my mum and dad will have a photo.
And they still remind you about it, do they?
Oh yeah, they're still like, I can't believe you did that.
Is it because you were the really shy kid and you come out of shell on stage?
Smashed it, yeah.
Oh wow, wicked.
Hilarious. But I feel like that was quite.
That's quite a big moment or memory for you.
Probably, yeah, that's a big moment from primary school. Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow,
it's funny though. It's good.
Well, yeah. Photo, please.
Yeah.
And if you at any point during this want to strike a pose randomly, and it's the donkey pose, then just let us know. The donkey pose sounds weird.
I wish I had a video of it.
Okay, so turns out you're an absolute Leonardo DiCaprio of the donkey acting world.
Yeah.
What about moving into the transition into secondary school? Because that's a game changer. That's a lot bigger, isn't it?
I was always and still am the person that goes. So when I was in primary school, I couldn't wait to be in secondary. When I was in secondary, I couldn't wait to be in college. College, couldn't wait to be in university.
Right.
Now I'm at the stage where I can't wait to be more established in my career. But the trouble with that is you never enjoy what you're doing at the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I really regret not enjoying primary school as much as I did, because your life is never as easy as it is when you're in primary school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember we used to do...
Enjoy the moment, JP.
We used
enjoy
to
the moment.
have cooking lessons and we'd just go and bake a load of cakes and then eat them. Like, it was just amazing.
A simpler time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so we were saying...
Primary to secondary. So
a simpler time we were talking about, wasn't we?
Primary school being a much simpler time. But
you constantly thinking about what's college going to be like, what's uni going to be like?
Moving on in life, but, you know, just got to enjoy it while it lasts. But I can't remember, I don't think, a single time in my life I was more scared than when my mum dropped me at secondary school.
Really? And again, you can remember that feeling?
Vividly. I remember, so my sister, so I went to Abs Cross. My sister wanted to go to Abs Cross, but she didn't get in because we weren't in their...
catchment.
Yeah. So I had to go and qualify via a music thing. So I went and I had to, bear in mind I'm like 11, had to bring my guitar, play my guitar for someone. I had to do a music theory test, all this sort of stuff, and I missed out by one place.
Really?
Yeah, but someone then dropped out, so then I got in.
Up your hand went.
Yeah,
I'll have it.
So I got in slightly out of the catchment area. So, but it was still 20-minute bus. It's not difficult, is it? But at the time, it was the best school in the area by quite a long way.
Right.
The head teacher was so good. I remember him being brilliant, and they used to do award ceremonies every year, and they'd have like celebrity speakers and stuff.
Really?
But they've had like ex-Olympians and all that sort of stuff. Like they had some really good people. But
so you played guitar from a very young age, by the sounds of it.
yeah.
So what age was it
thing.
you? And where did that come
I
from?
think it was 7.
And can you remember how? Why did you watch a?
One of our family friends
Yep.
started playing the guitar, and
You wanted to then play guitar.
he was basically like, this teacher's really good, whatever, if you ever want music lessons, because my sister was playing the piano at that time. So if you want to ever have music lessons, then you can come along and have like a taster session or whatever.
Just to play.
Yeah.
So can we get you playing guitar on here at some point as well?
Maybe.
Are you a bit of a ballad man, or are you a bit more rock starry?
I prefer my acoustic guitar.
You can change it up, can't you?
Yeah, I've got both. My electric guitar is like my pride and joy though.
Yeah.
I love my electric guitar, but I don't really play it enough because it's got to be really loud, isn't it? Well, not really loud, but
Loud enough, I guess.
but yeah, I'll try and get back up to scratch.
Yeah. So, secondary school,
Yeah.
absolute bricking it, getting to the gate.
Yeah. So I walked up to secondary school. Oh, and this was the other problem, right? So I don't know what it was like when you went to secondary school, but because I was out of the catchment area, I was the only person from my primary school that went there. I was the only one.
Oh, was you?
So
Yeah, I had a few friends who I went to
So-
school with. Yeah,
that's why I was so scared, because I didn't know anyone.
yeah, daunting.
It's like, because
If you're shy as well,
yeah, the majority of other people are gonna know other people. So everyone was sort of in these groups, and I was there like, which one do I fit into?
all clicker.
And you've
yeah.
got to work it out, and yeah. But after a while, you fit into your group.
Can you remember your first friend?
Yeah. So there was a guy called Zach, who was in
Shout out to Zach.
who was in my form group, and I became really good friends with him, and I would, go over his house after school, etc., etc., etc. But after about, it was 2 or 3 weeks in,
Yeah.
he left and moved to Campion, I think.
Yeah.
No, Coopers, sorry, which was like Coopers is like
I've heard
really,
of
it's
yeah.
hard to get into Coopers. Like if you get into Coopers, you've done a really good job. So, yeah, that was really, I actually found that quite upsetting at the time, because he was like my close friend.
Yeah.
But he had friends from his school, so I'd fit into their group by now.
Yeah, of course.
So I'd sort of had a group of friends, and then I actually became really close with them.
So I want to ask you something about school then, because it wasn't a thing back when I went to school. No ageist jokes, please.
Yeah.
Social media.
Right.
Talk to me about, because I think the best thing I had was a mobile,
Yeah.
which don't think it had colour just yet. I think that was when I started going to college.
So my first phone was like a Nokia 3310.
Yeah.
And I got that
What classic?
in the summer of going into secondary school.
Right. Okay.
Nowadays, my cousins, I think, were in year 3 or 4 and they got their first iPhone.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different world now, isn't it? But I got my first phone then, and the big thing back then, because I don't think the iPhone was out then. I think maybe it had just come out.
No. We're going back, what?
2011. It must have been recent.
No, it must have been recent, yeah. Because I'll tell you what I think. I think every year another iPhone, it goes iPhone 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6. So yeah, maybe it was around about that time.
It came out in 2008, so they were 2 years old, so they weren't very established
When
by
was
then.
Facebook and all that?
Facebook's been around for ages.
Yeah. I just associate it with the iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Facebook, 2004. YouTube
So you
was
had
2006.
Facebook, Do you have Instagram? Was that
Instagram didn't exist.
But you had Facebook.
Twitter didn't exist.
WhatsApp
Didn't exist.
really?
Yeah, none of it existed. What it was BBM.
Ah,
BlackBerry Messenger.
yes.
Everyone had a
BBM
BlackBerry.
pin, was it?
Everyone had a BlackBerry.
The yeah. I missed the BlackBerry. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
I used to love that for working.
Yeah,
I used to feel
keyboard
important on the
thing.
train if I had a
You
BBM.
never see that anymore. You would never see that anymore. 'Cause it's all touchscreen now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's no
They
point.
still sell them, Blackberries.
No, they don't. I think they tried to release a new phone recently.
They tried to do. I know they tried to do a couple of touchscreen type.
Yeah.
Blackberries, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so was you big on social media? So Facebook, for instance, at school.
So I
Was that
remember the
massive?
first thing I had was MSN.
Yes,
Which
I
was
used to like
primary
that.
school.
MSN Messenger.
I had that in primary school.
I had that.
Yeah. Big MSN.
The dinosaur
was-
over it had
was
that.
quality MSN.
Yeah.
But I missed out on the MySpace era. I never had MySpace. Facebook I got probably year 7 or year 8. And then you sort of start. Actually, no, I had it in year 6. I remember.
Was that a big thing with communicating with your friends or people that
So
You
the big
didn't-
thing for communicating with your friends
MSN?
when I was in secondary school was talking over your Xbox.
Ah, the gaming stuff. Yeah.
So everyone and their dog had an Xbox or
And-
a PlayStation, one
Wow.
of the two, and it was very divided. But where I like football and stuff, you naturally make groups in the boys of the year that
Yeah.
play FIFA.
Oh wow.
So-
Okay. So that's quite a good social
Yeah,
kind of to
yeah,
meet
it really
friends.
is. So I made tons of friends through that sort of stuff.
Was you good? I'm spilling this.
Um,
Was you a stronger player in the group of people you played?
no.
You were shocking.
I've always been under par on FIFA. Always.
You've been a 7 out of 10 man, haven't you?
I wouldn't even go that far.
Oh, okay, I was trying to give you a couple there. Okay. Alright, fair enough.
6.5. So yeah, I made a lot of friends through that sort of stuff, and you'd go home from school, and they have Xbox parties, which is it's like an online thing.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much, I guess the easiest way to explain it is like a conference call.
Yeah.
Like everyone is in this call together, and you'll just be playing games, chatting with a little headset on. That's basically what it
Yeah.
is. So once you come home from school, you're still talking all the time. So there'd be days where I'd get home from school at 4 o'clock, I'd be on my Xbox till 10, I'd go to sleep, wake up again, try and squeeze in an hour.
It's funny because
And then
I was
go
going to
to bed.
ask you actually, what was it? Yeah, what did an evening look like? So once
lot
you've
of
left
it- a lot
school,
of it was
gone
video
home,
games.
it was the games.
A lot of it was, FIFA mostly. Spending way too much time on FIFA. I reckon I've spent probably, this is really bad, probably a year of my life on FIFA.
Yeah.
Like that amount of time. Like it's insane. But it's the same sort of thing as, people spend tons of time on what they enjoy, don't they?
Of course, yeah.
Some people spend tons of time watching Netflix TV shows, they've watched every single one.
Yeah.
It's video games. It's very common.
Oh,
So-
it's huge, isn't it? Yeah, it's a massive
Yeah.
market. So, okay, so in terms of... Okay, so let's finish this bit off about JB growing up, school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
From school, going into...
So, yeah, there was a lot. I'll go into it another time because it's going to take me forever to explain. But the end of school, secondary school, was bumpy, a bit rough.
Why?
Just
In fact, we won't open that can of worms then, if that's a topic itself.
I could talk about it for hours.
We've gone over your 6 minutes as well, haven't we?
So, yeah, after that, college.
Yeah.
So I was still, this is the other thing, I was still really good friends with that best friend from when I was really young at this point. And then I went to the same college as him, but it was near like Lakeside Way, it was Palmer's.
I went Thurrock and Basildon, over the road. Yeah.
But I didn't really like it, and it took me an hour to get there every day. So instead I left there and went to Havering Sixth Form, which is 15 minutes on the bus.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the origins of our falling out, because it was almost like I'd left him, but
It is what it is, isn't it?
yeah, it's life. So Havering Sixth Form, I studied. So I applied science, so sort of like experiments and stuff, sports science, and was that it? It might have just been that. I can't remember.
Video? Anything?
Oh, photography.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
That's what I did. Yeah. So.
Otherwise, you lied at interviews and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did all right. Passed them all. Did
you enjoy college?
College was basically a continuation of the end of secondary school.
Right.
I
2 years.
2 years. Nearly had to repeat my first year because my attendance was so low. It's
okay.
Bad on my part. Massive regret because I should have worked harder because I could have got much better grades. Not that it really matters now.
Don't have regrets, though.
And I got into my dream university.
Which was?
The University of Kent in Canterbury.
Nice.
The campus there is stunning. Everything is modern. The library is like, the whole thing's glass and it's on a massive hill and you can see the whole town of Canterbury. You can see the cathedral and everything. It all lights up at night. It's beautiful. But university was a very, very interesting time. And again, I could talk about this for hours, but I'll go into it lightly. University was the worst idea I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, I hated it.
Was you to go to university? Was it your decision, or was it a bit of family and naturally you go college and then you go uni?
So my parents said to me, I can do what I want. They just want me to be happy. If I don't want to go to uni and I want to work, that's fine by them.
Yep.
It's no stress at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically said, I don't really want to work yet. I want to go to uni. But the issue was I didn't know what I wanted to study. So I did film studies because I liked film and I thought that would be a really good career to go down eventually. And again, just didn't... The issue I had with it, right? So university is about $9,500, right? I was getting... So I did 2 modules and I was getting a 2-hour seminar for each module a week.
Yeah.
And a 1-hour lecture. So that's 3 hours a week, plus a film that I had to watch. That was all the work I had to do, right? And I was just like, what? I didn't get it. I was like, why am I not... Like, I had... So one of the girls I was really close with, she was doing architecture. And I did more of her work with her, just helping her out, than I did on my own.
Yeah.
Because I had literally nothing to do.
Did you not think, this is great?
No. Because I just wanted... It felt like I was paying an awful lot of money that I'd owe back to the government.
Yeah. And not getting
for
much
not
out
a
of
lot.
It. Yeah.
And I was just a bit like, I'm not really feeling it. And I just wasn't... I don't know. I just didn't quite get on with it. And the university... The reason I say university was the worst idea ever was the environment.
So I would counter that and say it was the best idea. You know
why?
That
is very true.
Because you're here today.
That is very true. And I still stand by to this day, and I think I will say this probably for the next few years until I do something else. But leaving university was the best and most brave decision I've ever made.
Brilliant.
Because that was very, very risky.
Yeah.
So I left uni in March last year, and I had no plan of what I was going to do. I had no idea what I was going to do. So I spent 3.5, 4 months doing nothing, and I was half applying for jobs, not really trying hard enough.
Yeah.
I was just coasting basically, and again, massive waste of time, but it led me to where I am.
Do you know what though? This leads on really well because I wanted to talk about all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it does lead on really well because you've just said it yourself. I had 3-4 months being lazy, coasting, not really doing much, not really sure what I wanted to do anyway, which is completely natural. So tell us about JB as of today, sitting here today. Tell me about how the last 3 months have been. Tell me about where you want to get to in your career, you as a person. What does all that sort of stuff look like?
So, the one thing, I'm just going to quickly hop back for half a second and then I'll answer your question. I will, after this, I want to explain what the job I had before this was.
Oh, okay.
But I'll do that
now if you want.
Yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Because that is another massive staple point in my
big factor
life, like just how I've come to be who I am. So what the job I worked for Enabled Living Healthcare, and that's a healthcare business that's under the umbrella of the NHS in London Borough of Newham. So what we did was, in the morning, I'd get there at 9:15, load up a van with, like, we get given paperwork, load up a van with loads of medical equipment. So it might be electric beds, mattresses, hoists, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so electric beds, hoists, all types of like specialist medical equipment. Sometimes it'd even be what we call like a gantry hoist, which is like the ones where it's like two big pillars and then a big bar that goes along the top. And it was like it was quite, took a lot of learning to learn how to do all that.
Yeah.
And I would basically go out with someone, because I don't drive, and I would be on the two-man team, so we'd deal with all the heavy stuff, and we'd go and deliver it to people's houses that needed it.
Yeah. So,
for one thing, you're meeting 7 to 8 different people every day, going into their houses. It's a very, very interesting experience.
I bet, especially at such a young age.
Yeah, so I was 18, and the other thing with it is that a lot of the people you're meeting have quite bad health problems. So you get a really interesting perspective on different people's situations.
Yeah.
But you're meeting, say there's an elderly woman or whatever, but there might be her son or her daughter there, and you talk to them and whatever, and then there might be like an old woman, she's like, can you do me a massive favour, I need to move this sofa out of the way so you can do that, and you're like, no, don't worry about it, we'll do it. So it's all sort of stuff like that, and it really gave me really good people skills. But the thing that was the biggest staple for that was when the equipment is done with, we bring it back and someone like steam cleans it, decontaminates it, etc. But we've got to go and collect it. So bear in mind, these people have got these health problems. There's one of two reasons that you've got to go and collect it.
Yeah.
They've either passed away or they've gotten better. The big issue is probably, I'd say, a quarter of the collections we do. We probably do 2 or 3 collections a day, 4 or 5 deliveries, 2 or 3 collections. Probably a quarter of the deliveries, so that's at least 1 or 2 a week, are from children. So and the people I'm working with, there was 2 guys that I worked with, and I became really good friends with them. I still talk to them now, and they've both got kids, and every time they would come out with like just tears in their eyes and everything, going into a kid's bedroom to collect, because they know what's happened, and it really gives you a perspective on just life and how you shouldn't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
And that
I think
really
it's
important.
It's big.
Yeah.
So young to be in that environment.
Yeah. It was difficult. First time it was quite upsetting.
Yeah.
It's more upsetting for them because they've got kids.
Yeah.
It's more relatable, but
even still,
it's not easy. Yeah. So nowadays.
So that's had a big impact on you because, as you say, you're almost a little bit more grateful of
100%.
opportunities.
And also grateful that although my family aren't, I don't want to say the healthiest, but they're going to hospital every now and then to have checks and whatever for numerous different health problems. But it just makes me grateful that, they're all still around and healthy, and you've got to be grateful for those sort of things, because otherwise you take it for granted. So after that I then
so how long did you work there for?
6 months. So that's where my dad works. So I was just working in the warehouse, the driving team. So I was there for 6 months. And I also had a 3-month stint before I went to uni, which was like an IT type thing.
So how'd you end up here?
So my dad, Lee is one of my dad's good friends. They go bird watching together. Fun.
Have you been?
Oh yeah, I used to go all the time when I was really young, but I haven't been with them for ages. But my dad texted Lee. I remember because I was still working with my dad at the time, and he texted Lee and was like, because I've been applying for loads of finance apprenticeships, and he was like, I know you don't really have like an established, because at the time it was just him and Sean.
Yeah.
So he was basically said, is there any chance you could take him on for 2 weeks? And he was like, yeah, of course. Just hop on a train, come to Brentwood, and he basically just taught me the ropes.
Yeah, brilliant.
To make it simple, and that was really good as well. And then it was EBN, wasn't it?
It was.
So EBN, I met you. Was it EBN?
It was EBN.
For the first time? Or was it at the pub?
No, it was EBN to start with, yeah.
So yeah, it was EBN, and Lee said, don't worry, I'm not going to make you talk. And then he threw me under the bus, but I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was... So just to put some context around it, so this is a networking event of a morning, a breakfast meet where different professionals come together and talk about business, essentially. So you'd gone there with Lee, and we all have a minute, 2 minutes, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you do, how your week's been, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he threw you under the bus. He said, right, this is Jamie, tell us who you are, and away you go. But I, as I say at the time, and I've told you this numerous times, I was so impressed.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and again, your people skills for someone so young in an environment that you've never been. I mean, obviously, the previous job, as you said, has obviously toughened you up and made you, put you in situations and stuff like that. But it was so natural. It was so natural. And then when you spoke, I think halfway through, I was like, how old is this guy? He's well beyond his years. Yeah. And that was it, wasn't it?
I don't know what I put that down to. I mean, I went to an awful lot of job interviews. I literally had one of the finance apprenticeship things. I joined like an apprenticeship group type thing. It was like it was almost like an agency, but you had to qualify to get into it. Yeah. And I remember they said that I was the fastest ever person to get the top grade. I finished it in like 10 minutes. But that was actually really
modesty
helpful.
Is one of your biggest skill sets now as well, isn't it?
I actually had they had all like seminars and stuff of interview prep, and there was like 10-20 of us in this group, all people that were my age.
See, that's another thing though, to cut across you there. You were going through this with people your age. When you turned up at that networking event, you were with business owners, females, men, professionals,
massive group of
all different ages, all different backgrounds. So that was a huge thing to take on.
Interview each other at this thing, and we even had a portion of the seminar teaching us how to handshake properly, like things like that. But it's all really important skills.
So important. Yeah. So important. Handshake.
If you have a bad handshake, it's like...
Oh my God. Do you know what? I think one of the things, if we can, is get a topic out on body language.
Yeah,
and
that'd be a good one.
Skills that you don't learn at school that are imperative when you do go into the real world.
I think we can definitely talk about that for a long while, actually. There's so much to go into.
Yeah.
So that taught me quite a lot as well. So then, EBN, I went to 2 meetings, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I was at the second one. But I remember Lee messaging me saying, well, no, I think he even said at the time, didn't he? He said, look, anyone want to take this one off our hands for a couple of weeks? Yeah. I'll put my hand up. Go on in, we'll have a chat.
So then we met at the pub over the road.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was the second time I met you,
Yeah, so that was... What was that, Friday?
Sealed the deal over a beer.
That was a Friday afternoon, wasn't it?
And it was a nice day, the sun was out.
First time I met Kieran.
Yeah.
And then Kelly and Martha came over afterwards.
That's right,
And David from IT Positive was there as well.
Yeah, David, There's a couple of others.
Yeah, a few other guys.
Lenders.
There were a few people over there, and we were all just sitting around the table. I remember it was when was that? October, and it was really sunny.
It was
I
really
remember
sunny,
it
yeah.
like it was yesterday. And then you were away, I think, or something. Oh no, that was after my work experience, or maybe you were away.
Nah, so
you
I
had
was.
a course or something in London, and you were away for a few days. So I started on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, there was a reason, wasn't there, that you didn't start on the Monday and then you came in.
Then I started.
I think it was
Wednesday.
also, being completely truthful, is just to get you set up. I had to get your IT equipment in and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, and then you had 2 weeks.
The first day we went and got my computer, didn't we? Because we didn't have another computer at the time.
That's it.
So, yeah, and to be honest, I can't really remember it that well, my work experience here.
Nah.
Because it's all blended in now, isn't it? But, you know...
It was good though, because it was a completely different environment
to... all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which was interesting, bear in mind, at the time... I still don't understand how at the time I was so, like, yeah, this is for me. And then, like, 2 days off work experience, I don't know. Something changed, and I don't really know what it was. But...
I think with anything, I think there's an element of training, and consistency and persistency. So I think if there was a break between you getting used to it and it was something completely new, and then it was taken away in 2-3, because I think you did your work experience and then I don't know if we agreed that you were going to start the start of the next month or something like that. So again, there was a little period of time when you wasn't doing the job, and then you come back.
I think that was when you went to Italy.
Yeah, my wife took me to Italy, didn't she, for my birthday? That's it. Yeah, that was what it was. But that was November. Did you start?
Yeah, I started the 3rd of November.
Of course, yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
So tell me now then about. So I just want to kind of
wait. It's been 4 months.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a little bit longer.
It's been 4 months now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, part of the furniture now. I can't get rid of it now. No, joking. So tell me now then about moving forward. So now you're involved in a position with us where you're overseeing marketing, you're getting involved in the Enjoy the Grind podcast, which is obviously a huge part of what we want to be doing moving forward. Tell me about your personal skills and how you've developed over the last 3-4 months. Also talk to me about areas that you want to improve on.
Okay.
And finalise or summarise to me what the dream is, where you want to get to.
So, without a doubt, my biggest skill I've learned is essentially how to be an employee working for someone. Because it's like, now, it's not like I'm doing it's like everything I do, if I don't do it, or if I don't do it right, it falls on you. And it's like it's my fault, but it's you that takes the hit of it. So it's learning. I've sort of learned to not necessarily deal with that pressure, but it's like to be able to realise that you're almost like relying on me to be good at what I'm doing. You know, do everything right. And I definitely think that's a really good skill to have because it's just, if you don't have that skill and you're working for someone, that's how people end up, you know, being late and then getting moaned at and then end up losing their job and whatever. Whereas I feel like it's almost like a relatively a respect thing as well. Like if you didn't get on with your boss, then it's almost like you're not as bothered if they take the hit of anything. If you know what I mean? Yeah,
I do.
I know that's a really bad outlook of things.
No, but look, it becomes more important to you because you
lose that care of, I want my boss to succeed. If you lose that care because you don't get on with them, then you're not really going to be that bothered.
I think it's a pride thing as well for you.
Yeah.
Take pride in what you do, passionate about what you do and stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I want... This is going to be, like, successful for you.
Us.
It's also going to be successful for me. So it's not like it's like almost like a joint venture type
It
thing.
is.
We're you're trying to do this big thing together. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how things are going. There have been ups and downs of things I've struggled with, lack of creativity being one of them, having to get the social media stuff out.
Yeah, give yourself a bit more credit.
But
it's tough, it ain't easy.
Yeah, having to be creative for 2 different posts every single day for the last 4 months, that's not exactly an easy thing to do, but
it's all learning,
yeah.
And you have to do everything, and we'll talk about this sort of stuff in other topics and things, but you have to go through all of it now to learn from it and improve from it. Yeah. So it's good, as long as you are still learning, that's the biggest thing. You're learning, you're happy, and like you say, you do things with pride and passion. I think all of that sort of stuff's important.
Yeah. So the dream,
yes,
the goal. My absolute dream is to, in an ideal world, so it's essentially one of 2 things. I would either love to be like the head of marketing for Davies Global. So then I've got teams under each business, whatever, that sort of thing. I would love to do that. Or, because it's one of them things where that's a more powerful position, but what I would prefer to do, I think it would be a happier job for me, would be to try and, we've spoken about the whole charity event, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point.
Definitely,
Planned it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing where I can almost be like a event planner / host, that type of thing.
Yeah.
More camera, media involved, and the whole documentary type stuff, like all of that type of stuff, more
that's the
hands-on media based, but hopefully still at like a good level of...
Yeah. Well, tell me very quickly then, and if it's a quick answer then great, if it's not then we'll pull on to this next time, but tell me what... Okay, so you want to be head of marketing for Davies Global and stuff, but tell me what the perfect day would be. Let's say you've done all that. So you had the teams, you built the company, you went out and you did the hosting. What is the perfect day? You wake up, what do you visualise? You go, do you know what? I'd love to be that guy or that guy.
Really?
What does that look like?
In our new really nice offices, whenever we decide to move and wherever we decide to
Where are they? Are they in the UK or are they overseas?
Oh, either still around here so I can stay local, or maybe California.
Both.
That would be fun.
So California. So you're involved in the California.
Yeah, and being able to contact people to be able to get people onto the show, but also have people that are under me in teams basically asking me questions, managing them day to day.
Right, okay. I want to pull on this more. Let's start with this next time.
Cool.
Because I want to ask a couple more questions about that. But we're going to have to wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing JB with us. We will...
be back next time.
Yeah.
Should be next week.
Yeah, we'll get this on hopefully next couple of days.
Yeah. And then next week we'll have another one up.
Yeah, cool. All right.
On the next one.
Good. Perfect.